Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Dane Cook has that new special out, Dane Cook 50. Congratulations. He's engaged to 23-year-old Kelsey. Dane Cook spoke to Boston.com. They were curious, Dane, how did you decide to release your new special through Moment? And Dane said, Moment is almost a modern version of pay-per-view. This is a place where you can do a short-term contract as a performer, partner up with an incredible resource, and all without a lot of paperwork. Most importantly, you can continue to own and operate your IP. Dane keeps mentioning the IP. I wonder what's going on there and who he's frustrated with. Dane says a lot of comics spend all their time chasing royalties and trying to get paid for the very work that they should own. Early in my career, back in 2003, I was already seeing the writing on the wall. When I put a CD on the shelf at Tower Records, I could track the units sold by the box. When you put it in the digital realm, suddenly companies aren't sharing those metrics. You would watch all your creativity fly out the window as someone else profited off it. Moment gives you the power back. They say, here's your IP, here's all the data, and by the way, you get paid in real time. So I have the opportunity to recoup my entire investment. One guy put every penny into above it all, and that's me, and I love that. Very interesting. Just as an aside, while we're talking about Dane, I have noticed as I put together the weekly comedy thing that not all his material is available for digital airplay these days. Not sure why, just is. I'm looking forward to Weird, the Weird Al biopic from the AV Club. Evan Rachel Wood says her version of Madonna is a sociopath. Madonna's very conniving and completely just using Weird Al, and everything she does is a pathological lie to get ahead in her career. So it's basically taking the genius that is Madonna and turning into a sociopath that ends up running a drug cartel. Hey, spoilers! It has to be a little bit ridiculous. She has to slowly start flying off the tracks in the end. The AV Club says, this sounds a little bit ridiculous and more full-on Walter White transformation to us, but hey, in a film like this, we're game for anything. Daniel Radcliffe said, we shot a few days moving incredibly fast, then Evan came in, and the relief of seeing her and knowing, oh, she's effing game for it, committing 1,000%, hitting the ground running. She's not bothered by how quick it was moving. It was just a few takes. You just really got the tone of the pace of the film, and it was very exciting. Weird, the Al Yankovic story on Roku, Friday, November 4th. Hey, you like clickbait? How about this one from entrepreneur.com? 4 things all small business owners can learn from Bill Burr. Sure, why not? Much of Bill Burr's mindset could and should be applied to small businesses. Here's what you can learn about leadership from the comedian. I'm in for your clickbait. I'm hitting click. Let's see what we got here. I have not pre-read this. Thing number 1. Stay positive, even in the face of negativity. Bill Burr deals with sour faces in the crowd by becoming even more enthusiastic. He sees it as a challenge and becomes even more exuberant and gracious to the audience. He tells them how happy he is to be there and how much he appreciates them coming out. Second lesson from Bill Burr for your small business. God, the amount of pop-up ads on this website. Holy cow, guys. 2, don't be afraid to lean into the uncomfortable. Bill Burr is fearless. He leans into the uncomfortable and takes an ornery crowd right on the chin and gives it right back to them. As a small business owner, your stage is what you do every day. You need to be surprised what you can take too. Be fearless, be powerful, be smart, and be bold. Lesson number 3, stay self-employed and don't let too many hands get in the pot. One of the greatest things about owning a business, or say podcasting in your basement, is autonomy and freedom. There are no people above you, and I'm here to tell you to keep it that way. And number 4, keep things simple. In Bill Burr's words, I tell jokes at podcasts, I do TV when they let me. Keeping things simple, like Bill Burr does, reduces stress, achieves clarity, and removes doubt. Find your groove, keep learning, keep growing, and stick with it. If an angry, red-headed Irish Catholic kid from Boston can do it, so can you. How clickbaity was that? From the Des Moines Register, the ever so serious Hari Kondabolu said, still a lot to talk about in the world, and the sad thing is I've realized things like colonialism and racism are pretty evergreen. With colonialism, for at least my stand-up act, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Ari feels he's gotten better at finding a way to relate to a room when some jokes don't land. If something doesn't work, it's almost like saying, all right, there's nothing we can relate to so far, but the one thing we can relate to is that the last 10 minutes were uncomfortable for all of us. We share that experience. We were in the room together for that. Bill Maher says one of the things he loves about the United States is he has the freedom to say things on TV. He says that's number 1. And also, the toilets work. We've got a lot of bad things in this country right now, but come on, little perspective. Talked about why he started the Club Random Pod, which is a pretty good podcast. One of the reasons I started it was there were so many interesting people I want to talk to who would not fit on real time. To do real time, you have to really understand and be up on what's going on in the world, and that eliminates, I'd say, 95% of the people in show business. So it's been a joy to do this podcast, and I can also be completely high for it, which I would never do on real time. The Billings Gazette caught up with Aaron Woodall and said, Aaron Woodall, your Twitter name is Avatar 2 Updates. Well played. It was a punchline for so long despite making so much money. Is Avatar back? Aaron Woodall said, we're yet to see if it's back. I'm holding my breath. It's not even my favorite movie. I just couldn't stand the punchlines. For years, people have acted like the movie sucks. We have short-term memories. It made $1 billion. We all saw it because it blew our minds. We'd never seen anything like it before. And all anyone remembers now is Pocahontas hair sex. I don't care about the story. The groundbreaking visual effects is why I went, and everyone liked it. And the fact that James Cameron has spent the last 13 years doing nothing but working on the sequel has me very excited. He's got to have something amazing for us. Beating this Avatar drum started as a joke, then became my personality. But it's like I have faith this is going to be a mind-melting experience. Now, if Avatar 2 comes out in December and it sucks, after I spent years of my life defending it, I'm going to have much blue egg on my face. They asked him if he works clean. He said, no. I started my comedy career only writing clean material, but I haven't worked exclusively clean in a long time. I've got lots of strong opinions on the whole clean comedy debate. Lots of church people will have you believe that clean comedy is elevated, harder, and smarter, and I disagree with that because comedy's just hard. I've seen insanely smart bits that are about dirty things. There's nothing dumb about what the comedian's saying, but I also don't agree that clean comedy is sanitized or square. One of the main secrets of stand-up comedy is being honest. The better you are at finding a true voice, the better audiences receive you. There are comics that are clean guys, and that's just how they talk and how they want to talk on stage. For me, I know I could work clean. I did for a while, but it doesn't feel authentic to me because I like some swear words, and I like to talk about some topics that maybe you should be talking to kids about. It's my personal brand. I want to be honest to who I am. And the Lebanon Express caught up with Guy Branum, and they were like, hey, Guy Branum, how did you find your niche in stand-up? Guy said, the thing is, never crossed my mind to not talk about my life on stage. I started out in San Francisco, where there was a really rich queer comedy community. It gave me this unrealistic view of what was possible. Then I moved to LA, and I realized, oh, no one's interested in that. But I always got audiences on my side. I'm a good stand-up. In 2006, the industry didn't know what to do with a queer male stand-up comic. I just kept working. I found places where I could survive and thrive, and that's one of the reasons I've always done a lot of writing work. Stand-up is the thing you have control over. We get to talk about your own experience in an unfiltered way. That's your comedy news for today. You can follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you get your shows, and I'll see you tomorrow.